everyone, and welcome to Jen's Epic Kitchen. As you can see, I have my kitchen helper Tucker here with me tonight. We will be making sheet pan fajitas. It's a great, fun, really yummy meal that the family will enjoy any night of the week, and it's really easy to make. Now, we all know you can buy or just have on hand some salsa to make the job a little easier, but tonight I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make our very own salsa using the poco picante sauce. I've got here 1 cup of diced tomatoes. Now, I like a little extra veggie in my salsa, so I've got a little bit of green pepper that I had on hand, and also a little bit of sweet onion. Now we'll just take the poco picante and our 4-1 spice spoon, which fits nicely into the jar. Now this mix can be quite spicy, so you get to adjust according to your own needs. The recipe on the jar suggests 2 tablespoons per 1 cup of diced tomatoes, but I find that over time that builds quite a bit of spice, so I'm only going to use 1. And we're just going to give that a little stir. You can see it's just getting all the spices mixed in there. Now the other thing that likes to be added to salsa is a little bit of lime. So I've just got 1 here. I'm going to slice it in half. I slice off the other little end because I find that that helps the juice come out. And I've got my 2-in-1 citrus press here. Put it into the lime section and just give that a squeeze right into the salsa. Just like that. Oh boy, it smells fabulous. Now we'll just let that sit while we do the rest of our meal. Next up is guacamole. Now you probably realize that avocados are very difficult to get to be just ripe, and unfortunately the ones I had were not quite ripe enough to start today. So I have already peeled and taken the pit out of this one, and so instead of mashing, I'm just going to start by cutting it up into little chunks. That will help us get going and still allow the flavors to blend together nicely in the bowl while we wait. Will just be a bit of a chunky guacamole. So my hand, I'm just going to give this knife a rinse while I'm at it. Okay, so now we have our avocado. Again, because this recipe actually called for the 2 avocados, it's supposed to be 3 tablespoons of the dip mix. So I will just use 1 heaping tablespoon in here. And another splash of lime juice. So back to my 2-in-1 press. Take that little nub off the end. And give it a squeeze. Add some nice juice in there. Now, my Uncle Tony, who is Mexican, always says it's a great idea to just add a little bit of salsa into your mix as well. So there it goes. And we'll just give that a stir. course. It would look much more like guacamole if it was mashed, but it will be tasty just the same. Now on to the actual sheet pan fajita. To do that, we're just going to slice up the vegetables and then the meat and mix it together with the fajita sauce and bake it in the oven. So we've got our onion and our peppers. We'll start with the peppers. With the tops, down the sides, and a quick get rid of the seeds. Get rid of the little stems. And we can just slice this up nicely and into the bowl. My kitchen helper Tucker likes to think that he should have vegetables. He rather enjoys cucumbers and carrots, but peppers and onions are not good for puppies, so he won't be getting anything tonight. This knife I'm using is our Epicure chef knife. It's fabulous, always sharp, ceramic, often called the Black Beauty because it is all black. It slices through things very nicely and cleans up well. Comes with a little cover for the blade. And this is the paring knife is what I used for the lime. We're just going to get rid of the onion skin here. Oops. Slice the onion into strips. Now we can bring in our chicken. I've got 2 chicken breasts here. It's about a pound. And we'll just slice it up real thin. Sometimes when it gets to the thick of the breast, I'll cut it in half the long way. And you can see that this knife just cuts through everything, just like I leave my meat cutting to the ends to avoid the cross-contamination. And then we'll just be done with this cutting board. After that, oops, start at this end, cut off a few, cut it in half, and keep slicing. Now, before the video started, I preheated my oven to 400 degrees. We will get all this chicken in here. We'll move this off. I'll probably have to wash it. I think I will need it again. We can move the chicken in. Just let me give my hands a wash. helpers, off you go. So now we have all of our vegetables and meat, and we will be using the fajita spice. We will need 2 tablespoons of this spice mixed in, just like so. And I've got my spoon here. These silicone utensils have quickly become a very family favorite. My husband has an apartment in the city, and he insisted on having them there as well. They are steel on the inside, silicone on the outside, so they hold up well, and they're good for all of your non-stick cookware. So we're just going to give this a little turn. Spread the spices all over, and then we will spread it out onto our sheet pan. We've got the quarter sheet pan with a silicone mat, the silicone bacon roll, and the full sheet pan. I guess it's really a half if that's a quarter, but it's what fits in your oven, so there you go. And we're just going to spread that out right like so. And this will need to go into the oven to bake at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. A little piece of meat there. We'll spread it out evenly. There we go. Pull out of the way. Now, we can come back in here. I'm going to give the salsa a little bit of a stir again. Smells fabulous. And we'll also give the guacamole a little stir, and maybe a bit of a mash at this point. Sometimes the lime helps break it down a little bit. Okay, now just going to give my little mash a scrub really quick. Get all the chicken off of there, but just to be safe, these mats have 2 sides, so I will use the dry clean side, and we're just going to slice up a little bit of, I'll use the paring knife right now, slice up a little bit of lettuce to go with the fajitas. And one of the great things about Epicure is that it's very salt and sodium, silly me. Salt is sodium, and sugar conscious. So we've got our lettuce here, which I'll just put in my little bowl. So one of the things that I don't like to do is add sugar by using pre-shredded cheese. I know it's really super easy, but shredding cheese just isn't that hard, and it's so much better for you, at least as good as cheese can be. So we'll just shred some of that up. I'm going to shred a little more than what you think I might need but that's because I have a little extra at the end I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to shred up this cheese. Plus, you can go ahead and shred your own cheese like this and just put it in an airtight container in the fridge, and then you have your own pre-shredded cheese. Okay, there's a nice bit of cheese, and we can put that in this bowl here. ready until the chicken is done. Okay, so the fajitas have now been in the oven for 20 minutes. We're going to pull them out and have a look. Nice and steamy. Doesn't that look great? Right on to roll there. And now I've got a tortilla on my plate. A little sour cream or yogurt, whichever you have. This actually is Icelandic yogurt, so it's pretty thick. Some of our salsa, which smells wonderful. A little of the guacamole, which also smells wonderful, even though it's a little chunky. Some lettuce that we shredded from earlier. And some chicken and peppers and onions. Boy, this is going to be fabulous. Serve that up with a little salad and you're good to go. But maybe you've got a bigger gang coming over, or it's some sports game, although nothing's going on at the moment. Some sports is playing on the TV and you want to feed a bit of a crowd or just have some finger foods. Why not make fajita nachos? I've got here on our quarter sheet pan just a few nacho chips. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of the chicken and the vegetables over to my cutting board. Now, this is also a great idea if you happen to have leftover fajitas, which happens occasionally, I suppose. And we can just chop that up just to make it a little more bite size. Sprinkle this on your nacho chips. Oops, I forgot the cheese on the other one. How could I have done that? We'll put that on there right now. I'll bring that back in later, but this is what that extra cheese was for. How about just throwing that right on top like that. 5 minutes in the oven to melt the cheese, and you're good to go. But first, fajitas. Okay, nachos are out of the oven. Serve it up with a little of the same sour cream, guacamole, and salsa, and you've got a snack your family is sure to love. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's presentation of sheet pan fajitas and fajita nachos. And please find me on at Jenn's Epic Kitchen on Facebook to keep up to date with all the new and exciting things happening with Epicure. Thank you.